America. Well, hello and welcome to this Thursday's MBE Movie News, or just Movie News. I keep forgetting to omit the MBE. It's Movie News. I am John. I'm here to speak about movie news. Who defunct it? And as you can see from the headline, I have chosen to speak about Paddington, the little bear, everyone's favourite little cuddly bear. Me no less, because I did enjoy the first two Paddington movies, and this is music to my ears that we are going to be getting a third instalment of Paddington. I am hell of a paranoid that I have not pressed the macro to switch off the intro, so you know what, I'm just going to quickly press it. I think that's us now, so when I do move away from this screen and I come back, I'm not getting the intro again. But wait man, this is music to my ears. It's coming in from Screen Rant, my favourite website in the whole wide world. I keep going to it. I have about 70 movie news websites to choose from, and I keep getting back to Screen Rant. Don't know why really. But look man, they've had this to say. A third film in the highly successful Paddington film series is now officially in development, promising plenty more fun from Bear and family. Well, we'll get into that. Because they're going to have to do something different with this third instalment if they want to keep it fresh. If they want to keep this franchise growing instead of stagnating. And maybe, I don't know, getting back the way. Then we need to be doing something interesting with the story, with the plot, with the character, with the family. There may even have to be some tragedy in here. We may have to see one of the, I'm just going to call them the Bonnevilles, because I know it's Hugh Bonneville, but we may need to see one of these guys biting the bullet, man. But look, they got to say this, Paddington 3, the third entry in the successful Paddington franchise about a Peruvian bear who finds his way to London, is officially in development. That takes, though, I should say, tales of Paddington's adventures have been around since 1958. Yes, we all know about them here in the United Kingdom. When British author Michael Bond released his first novel about the bear, Paddington's 2014 arrival on the big screen marked a new era. It really did mark a new era for the bear, for the franchise. It had, I think, a 2D version, a cartoon version back in the day. We've got comments here. I'm going to apologise in advance. The setup, the monitors, is going to mean that I'm struggling mightily to read these comments, so we may need to have Stephen perhaps in the chat help me out with these comments here, because I am really toiling to see a thing here. I've got geriatric eyes at best. That's about 10 feet away, man. Maybe not 10 feet, but a good 9 feet, 7 feet away, that monitor, and I'm struggling to see it. I'm excited for this news. Of course, there's two main questions about this third instalment. The first one, who's going to direct it, because it ain't going to be Paul King. I'm pretty sure it is Paul King that directed the other one. I know it was King. Even now, I've not even looked it up. I'm pretty sure it was Paul King. I'm sure I'll find out in this article here at some point, or maybe someone in the comments section that I can't read can correct me, but the King guy, he's not going to be directed. I'm going to search it up just now. You know what? Because it'll do my nothing. Let's search up Paddington, shall we? And find out what the first name was. Was it Paul King? It was Paul King. Paul King is now attached to the prequel Wonka story. So he's a busy man. That's nearing production, I think. So he's not going to be back to direct this third instalment. So the major issue we have here, first and foremost, with this third instalment of Paddington is getting that director choice bang on. Because that's going to make or break the performances. It's going to make or break the feel, the continuity of the movie. Paul King's a great director. He's up and coming. He's that hot property that we did have Sony going and nabbing him for the Wonka movie I spoke about. So he's going to be a hard guy, or a hard guy, not a hard guy. I'm turning into a Brooklyn guy here. A hard guy. He's going to be a hard guy to replace. So they have to get that right. That's the first point. Get the director right. I'm not even going to begin to try and guess who that director could be, although I am, because I have Will Gluck right in front of me on IMDb. So I'm telling a porky pie. Will Gluck, of course, being the guy who's directed not one but two Peter Rabbit movies. Peter Rabbit, James Corden, Domhnall Gleeson, very similar vibes, very similar tones, family feel. It's got that live action CGI hybrid affair going on, like the Paddington movies. If they could maybe get that guy in, the continuity, the feel, the performances would all be there, because he's done it with Peter Rabbit and I've loved those movies. Well, the first movie, we've not got the second one yet. So he'd be my choice. Right off the bat. I ain't got any sway in Hollywood though, and I don't know if the guy's available. So, yeah, I may be talking shit here, but there'll be many Will Glucks out there. Many decent up-and-coming directors who will want a chance at directing a movie of this ilk and will do a good job of it, I'm absolutely sure. But look, without getting sidetracked, this is the chocolate peanut butter protein bar hitting my brain now, and I'm high as a kite. Let's go on to the second point that's really pertinent to the success of Paddington 3, and that is going to be the setting, the story. Do we stick around in London in this strange, screwed up sort of 1940s modern day hybrid London setting? Do we still continue on with Hugh Bonneville, Sally Hawkins is it, of Shape of Water fame? Do we continue on with that? Is it Judi Dench that's in it as well, who plays the grandmother? I'm not sure, it's been a wee while since I've watched it, but do we continue with that? Or do we go off to Peru? Peru? Can't speak tonight, it's early on. This is going to go downhill, do believe me. My speech will go downhill as this show continues. Will it be Peru? Will we return to the jungles of Peru? Will he go back and meet his other family? I think his grandmother's still alive. I'm sure his grandfather bit the bullet in tragic circumstances in Paddington 2. Setting's going to be key, man. They cannot continue with this London setting. It's just getting stagnated. It's boring. They broke away with it, with obviously the Hugh Grant train sequence at the end of the second one. They have to get the setting absolutely nailed on for this movie too. And of course, we have the other pertinent question, which I didn't really mention when I was speaking about the movie and what's going to entail success for it. And that's the villain of the piece. The first one, I believe it was... Who was it now? Was it Charlize Theron? Who was the villain in the first one? Or was it Nicole Kidman? I can't recall. It was someone anyway, and it was a very good villain in the first one. Hugh Grant, stupendous in the second movie. We are building a bit of a theme of really strong villainous performances in this franchise. They have to get that right as well. I don't know who they could get in, but I tell you what, if Ian McKellen's around, I wouldn't mind seeing Ian McKellen doing a sort of villainous turn in a Paddington movie. They've been doing that sort of traditional English trained actor route, although I don't think Nicole Kidman or Charlize Theron's English or a trained actor in the English theatre ways. But that's neither, that's besides the point. So what I'm really saying is there's lots of little parts that are going to make this a successful movie, and they have to get them all right. And with Paul King not being there, that's a huge vacuum, and that's going to really... How they pass the baton on to another director is going to make or break this movie's success. I think it will be decent. I'm reading these comments here, man. I'm really struggling. I do apologise. My eyesight, I'm blind as a Batman. I've got astigmatism in my left eye. My right eye overworks for it. Anything close... I can read. Anything further away, I'm shit. But I'm excited for this movie, man. I am looking forward to it. I'm glad it's been green-lit. It's been one of the sort of bright lights in the last 5, 6, 7 years. These Paddington CGI cross-hybrid sort of movies. We've had a lot of them. I think these have been the best. I think it's Ben Whishaw who voices Paddington, and he has been absolutely superb voicing that character. He's lent it so much character, so much humanity, which is strange to say for a bear. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take this story moving forward. I'm sure they'll get it right. I'm sure they'll get the director's choice right. And all will fall into place. But I'm going to move on. The reason I was late tonight coming on, and I'm always late coming on, but there's a valid reason tonight. I'm not walking my dog. I was, but that wasn't why I was late. I was late because I reacted to this trailer. And I'm sorry, Stephen, you're in the chat, but I had to do it because I'm speaking about it. So I fired a little reaction out before the show. I love this trailer, man. It's dropped. It's gory. I've said it there. A violent Mortal Kombat trailer drops. It's the first one. I've got to say, I wasn't overly enamoured at the thought of a new Mortal Kombat movie. I says my reaction. I grew up. I seen the one in 96, I think it was. It was a stupid movie. It was a bit shit. I enjoyed it as a kid. I'm not even going to lie. I enjoyed Sub-Zero. I was obsessed with Sub-Zero. This is a sort of remake, a reboot, a rehash, a new story, I don't know what it is, that we'd never really asked for, but we're getting. And the reason I think we're getting it is because it's almost a renaissance for video game adaptations in the film industry. In the last 5, 6, 7 years, we've had Rampage, which was... I've not seen it. I'm presuming it was shit. It didn't get great reviews. We've had the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider movies, movie, the second one's about to come out. It was okay. It was decent. It wasn't shit. It wasn't horrendous. It was beige, flatline and decent. No more, no less. And then, of course, we had Sonic the Hedgehog. That was a real surprise. Ryan Reynolds, it shouldn't have been. Jonathan Major, I think, as well. That was a great movie. I really enjoyed the dynamic of those two characters. And that was a great... That wasn't it. That was Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I'm thinking about... Sonic the Hedgehog was great as well. James Marsden, Jim Carrey. That was a great little movie. What we're getting is a sort of renaissance for video game adaptations. And in the main, they're doing pretty decently. I did say I'd go downhill shortly in this show when it's happening, man. That protein bar will wane off and it will prove to be disastrous for me, man. But I loved this trailer. If this movie can just, I don't know, eclipse this trailer just by a little bit, then we've got something special here. If it can just equal it, then I'll be a happy chappy, because it was gory as hell. There was great action in there. There was colourful characters. I just know it's going to be shit. I'm praying it isn't going to be shit, because I really do like Mortal Kombat. I like the actual, just the setting and the synopsis of it. It's almost like Game of Death, the Game of Death Bruce Lee movie that we didn't get. The one where he was going up all the different levels and taking on these different fighters and trying to triumph. It was almost like that. That was the concept of the Mortal Kombat movie. If I'm not right, it was a tournament. Maybe Enter the Dragon as well, to a lesser extent. It was a tournament and there was sort of supernatural shit going on as well underneath. They had to save the world, some bullshit like that. It's been about 30 years since I've seen it. It's a decent little concept, and if it's done well and it's at least entertaining at its absolute lowest sort of level, it doesn't have to be an Oscar buzz movie. It doesn't have to be awe-inspiring the writing. It just has to be a popcorn flick, man, and I'll watch it and it'll give me something. It's coming to a streaming service, of course, HBO Max if you're over in the States. If you're over here, you'll have to plank your ass on a seat in a theatre and watch it if we can get in it. But look, man, I'm not even going to hang about in this trailer or this website. I don't even know why I'm on it. I watched the trailer, I reacted to the trailer, I was impressed by the violence. There was decapitations. Sub-Zero was the standout by a country mile. This guy's so cool. He's freezing things in walls. He's crashing bodies through the walls. He slashed a character in the trailer at one point and he froze the blood as he was slashing the character. It was so cool. So I'm liking the signs here, man. More importantly, it's a mostly Asian cast, and I presume they have got in skilled martial artists, so that's going to lend itself to the actual not the cinematography, the choreography, the action, the way it's sort of weaving around the screen. I'm excited about this, man. I'm absolutely looking forward to this after watching that trailer. I wasn't initially. That's the power of a good trailer. If you can nail the promotion of a movie via just a 2-minute trailer, then you're absolutely on a winner, because it's going to get me into the theatre when it comes out and actually watching it. But look, man, I have done my bit speaking about Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to linger too long on it. It was a short trailer. I reacted to it. You'll see my reaction in probably about an hour or two when I put it out. Let's move on, shall we, to the next topic. It's all about everyone's speaking about everyone's favourite cuddly bear. Now I'm speaking about everyone's favourite cuddly character actor extraordinaire that is Jesse Plemons. I love this guy, man. I'm going to look through this guy's IMDb just very briefly. I'm going to click this guy up because I speak about him all the time, really. And it's extraordinary the amount of movies this guy is in as a minor side player. And he's such an accomplished actor, and he never seems to get any love shone upon him when it comes to award season. This guy never gets nominated for Golden Globes, for Oscars. He played that sadistic neo-Nazi in the Breaking Bad series. I can't speak. He also played and came back as that character and had a sort of shining role in El Camino alongside Aaron Paul. I had to think about it there. This guy is renowned for coming in and playing really wacky characters. The Irishman was the other one. He played a really good role in that. I'm going to look through his IMDb here. Incidentally, he's joining the new Scorsese movie, The Killers of the Flower Moon. I was concerned for a moment, because when I first read the actual article, it says he was replacing Leonardo DiCaprio, and that got me worried. I then had to go and check other sources. It turns out he's joining Leonardo DiCaprio. We've got other comments here. Can't see Mortal Kombat being a success. I can't either, but I hope I'm wrong. Man, it's a good popcorn flick. It's vacuous, but it's enjoyable. Paddington 3 will be a success. I think it will as well. Paddington 3 has... The other two Paddington movies were great, man. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed the first one more than the second, but the second one was pretty enjoyable. They always pull at the emotional heartstrings. That ending when he was under the water, it was beautiful. Plemons, I can't read that, man. I do apologise. The Irishman, but memorable. I'm going to try and read T3's comments as well, man. I'll go in there. He says if they do a third movie that Paddington will have to be put in the... try to read this, I do apologise. Conversation of being the best trilogy of all time. I agree with you. I do agree with you, man. To date, a perfect duology. Honest to God, 2 perfect movies. I did say I enjoyed the first one more than the second, but there've been 2 9 out of 10 movies, maybe 9.5 out of 10 movies, or if you're doing the A system, like an alphabetic system like we do, solid A movies. They are perfect movies, man. It's just preference, the first one. I think if they do make a third one and it gets anywhere near those first 2 movies, it's up there in contention with Back to the Future, Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, The Godfather. I don't like Godfather 3, I've never seen it. I'm going to watch that remake one, which is hopefully going to redeem it. It's going to be up there in contention with some of the greatest trilogies of all time, man. It's so good. But look, man, back to Plemons. I've done my little foray through the comments. Let's just look at what this guy's been in, man, in the last 6-7 years, shall we? Because it's unbelievable. I mean, we'll have a little look here. Black Mass. That was Johnny Depp, I'm sure. And that was a decent movie. He was in Bridge of Spies, Spielberg. I'm pretty sure it was Spielberg with Tom Hanks, that sort of switcheroo thing with the Russians, Cold War movie. That was an amazing movie, I loved that. He was in Hostiles, of course, with, I always forget her goddamn name, Rosamund Pike and Christian Bale. Again, a standout performance in that movie. He was in The Post. Stephen watched that, I didn't. Never get round to it, I was very busy at that point. He's been in Black Mirror, the TV show. He was really good in Game Night as the wacky police neighbour. Absolutely amazing. Vice, The Irishman, El Camino. This guy turns up in so many amazing movies, Oscar buzz movies as side characters. And I read an article fairly recently. It says that he could be one of the best character actors in the game just now. And I completely agree with that. I've been going off on a tangent though. Let's get into it. The Hollywood Reporter, they say Plemons will lead a cast that includes Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. Jesse Plemons has joined Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, the big budget thriller Martin Scorsese is directing for Apple. They're saying this is a major coup for Plemons, who for years has anchored productions or stole scenes with his performances, as I did say, for supporting roles. And look, man, he deserves it. I'm not going to linger too long in this article. I just brought it up. But he deserves this break. This guy's been stupendous for many years. He's getting a leading role in this. He's going to be the lead FBI detective in this story. Again, I think it's about the Indian... What do you call that, man? I always forget the name of the Indian sort of... It's not reserves, but they've got huge big areas, the Native Americans. And it's about that. It's about oil. There's corruption. There's an FBI investigation. They are in their formative stages. The Federal Bureau, I can never say that word for some reason, of investigation. He's going to be the leading... detective. So this is going to be a sizable role for this guy. He's starring alongside some top caliber actors in De Niro and obviously DiCaprio. I'm brains about to blank there. And of course it's Martin Scorsese. This guy very rarely, if ever, makes a below average movie, let alone a bad movie. DiCaprio's got a leading hand in sort of shaping and curating the script, so I'm sure this movie's going to be absolute gold. I'm absolutely delighted that Plemons is getting a starring role. He's getting some recognition at long last. He deserves it. And on that note, I'm not going to linger because I waxed lyrical about Plemons. I do love him. I think he's absolutely amazing. He's one of my favourite side actors, if you'd like. Hopefully that changes. And I'm going to move on that note and stop waxing lyrically about Plemons. I'm going to start waxing lyrically about Danny Elfman. I do apologise, I'm speaking a lot, but and I do have to drink. He's on board to work once again alongside Sam Raimi on the upcoming Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. This guy's worked with Raimi before on Spider-Man, I do believe. He's worked with him on another movie, and he's obviously worked with Tim Burton on numerous movies. He is a stellar composer, and again, you can almost get a feel for what this movie's going to be like now in terms of score, because they've all got their characteristic sort of flourishes and trademarks, these composers. I think the original movie was supposed to have Michael Giacchino, but he's too busy doing his magic on the Batman, and so they have brought in Elfman to aid and abet, hopefully not abet, Sam Raimi. I cannot wait for this movie, man. I'm so excited to see Sam Raimi back directing a superhero movie. Those two Spider-Man movies, not free because it was quoted and a bit shit and a letdown, but those first two Spider-Man movies in the early 2000s blew my mind as a child, and I was a child. It was early teens. They were really good. Maguire was fantastic, and his directing in the main was really top tier. So I'm very, very excited to see it, and I feel for Scott Derrickson getting left out in the cold. He's doing a Bermuda Triangle movie, I think, now, and something with Chris Evans. I feel for him, but I don't really give a shit. I'm glad Raimi's in. Well, this is the first time we've really had a proper, established director, maybe outside of Taika Waititi. You could argue Favreau as well, perhaps, man, but this is the first time we've had a sort of hardcore veteran director hit the MCU and do a movie. It's usually been up-and-coming talent, or just so-so directors. This is going to be exciting to see what this guy can do with this story. This story is going to be the sort of zenith, if that's the right word, zenith, if that's the pronunciation. I don't use it a lot, I wouldn't know. This is going to be that moment, the sort of zenith of this multiverse arc that's starting with WandaVision. It's going to be in its middle act by Spider-Man 3. This is going to be a very, very important movie for the MCU Phase 4 and beyond. It's going to tie up a lot of loose ends. It's hopefully going to introduce some new faces, some familiar faces as well, we do hope, because I've got my hopes tied on Chris Evans coming back as Steve Rogers at some point within these next couple of movies. So I cannot stress how much I'm excited about this movie, and this addition of Danny Elfman is just a solid addition, man. And it's going to, man, when I think of Avengers movies, I think of Alan Silvestri, but throughout all of the little standalone movies, the likes of Ant-Man and stuff like that, and I can't possibly pick out who the hell scored all of these little movies, but the one commonality with these movies is always good music, stirring, really cool scores. They've all got moments, and I'm sure this will absolutely have its moment with this dynamic duo getting back together again. But look, I'm not going to linger too long on that. I'm going to go into quite a little interconnected topic here before I start rounding the show up with the last two topics, because it's after 12 o'clock in the morning here, 12 a.m. This is all about the MCU, and I found this so intriguing. I screwed that there. I screwed that horrendously. I get too many macros and I don't know what to do with them. But look, as you can see, the MCU could have a new release each week through the end of 2021 or close to it. And in a sense, this has been a sort of willy little, if that's the correct word again, my brain's not really working properly tonight, so maybe you can tell me down below if you're watching. But some interesting figure on Reddit, I believe it is, has done some mathematics, if you like. He's crunched some numbers, and he's worked out the schedule. If they want to get all of these projects out in their current release slots, then you can see there, man, as many as 38 weeks this year of new episodes, new content from the MCU, and this is really going to consist of the likes of WandaVision finishing its stint, get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're going to have Loki, Marvel's What If, which I'm really looking forward to. That looks amazing. Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa getting away and doing the sort of Peter Quill Star-Lord storyline. That's going to be so cool. Miss Marvel, Hawkeye. You're going to have this Black Widow movie whenever that comes out, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, and then this cool little making of, fly in the wall sort of documentary show that I was speaking about, I think last night in actual fact, if I've not lost the plot. And this is going to be so interesting in terms of being an MCU fan in these times. I don't know what I've done there. I have made a complete arse of it, and I'm back. That shouldn't even be up, incidentally. I don't know why that's up. That's the review background. We've not done a review show for nearly a week. I don't know why that's up. Strange. Streamlabs crashed. It's a piece of shit. I pay this company £16 a month. I don't know why. It's a waste of money. I could be as well just burning my money, ripping it up and pissing in it. Because that's what they give in terms of that £16 a month. But look, that rant aside, going to be really interesting for Marvel fans this period. All of this new content coming out, game-changing content in terms of where we're going with the MCU, the legacy of Captain America. Who's going to get the shield? Is it going to be Bucky? Is it going to be Sam? Is it going to be this, what is he called, John, whatever that, Walker? Is that not a drink? I don't know. That shithead fake Captain America the government's trying to supplant in Sam's place. That's going to be a big show. It's coming out next month. And then you've got Loki, him coming back, Tom Hiddleston, the Time Variance Authority, all of this crazy shit, man. We could be seeing who is it that's playing the daughter of Clint Barton, and Haley Steinfeld. I think she's in that Hawkeye TV show. We could be getting a new Hawkeye in the next 4 or 5 months. This is monumental times to be an MCU fan, to be a Star Wars fan really when that starts hitting as well. And I cannot wait to consume as much Marvel content as I can possibly get my grubby little fingers on, because we have went an entire calendar year without being bashed in Marvel content, and people like to shit in Marvel, and I like to shit in Marvel at times as well, because there's too much Marvel at times, but we've not had enough of it recently, and I want more. So I've been a contradiction, if I can speak. And on that note, I'm going to move on to the fifth and penultimate topic. I'm going from Marvel to DC. Speaking about the Snyder Cut again, because we just can't get enough about it. I think this is the fourth continuous day now I've been speaking about this movie to be. And as you can see, it gets shot. One extra scene gets shot. There's been a lot of talk about these pickup shots about Zack Snyder doing reshoots for this up-and-coming movie. Of course, famously adding in Jared Leto's Joker. But now we have had a producer, I do believe, coming out to piss in the parade. And it's Deborah Snyder. I keep doing this, man. I keep saying a producer as if it's some no-mark shithead, and it's Deborah fucking Snyder. Why do I keep doing this, man? I done this the other day as well. It's not some no-mark, man. It's Deborah Snyder. But she's had this to say. Wow. People kept thinking they went and shot so much more stuff. I go, we literally shot one scene, one additional. I shot 3 days here. That's it. That's what we captured. Well, look, that's enough. Because what you've captured is an elongated version of the nightmare sequence with Jared Leto's Joker being a starring turn in it. And I cannot wait. That's the primary reason. There's two reasons, Vicky, I do apologise, that I'm watching this movie. 3 reasons. Just to see what Zack Snyder's take was, what his vision was for this movie and how it's going to play out. Is it going to feel like a big blockbuster that deserves to be in a theatre with the 30... whatever the hell they gave him, $1 million. I don't know what they gave him. I don't think it was $30 million. I think that's a little bit OTT. But the money they gave him, has he worked magic with it and gave us a blockbuster ripe for the theatre? Because I want to see it in the theatres. I spoke about that the other day. But the other 2 main reasons I want to watch this movie is the Joker, the nightmare sequence. That's primary reason. Second reason is Henry Cavill's Superman, the proper revival sequence. This guy going back to Smallville, meeting hopefully this scout ship, getting his black suit. That's what I want to see. Heat vision. So that's the 2 reasons, maybe 3 at a push. And one of them has been covered by these reshoots, these pickup shots. So it may have been short and shrift, but short and shrift's just enough for me, because it's given us one of the best moments I've seen, man, in a trailer. It didn't really shine through my reaction, incidentally. I kind of just went, oh, there he is. But inside I was very, very happy. That moment where he says, we live in a society where honour is a distant memory. That was absolutely incredible. Paying homage to Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, we live in a society. It was a great moment. I cannot wait to see it. And another reason why I cannot wait to see it and why these reshoots were more than enough, more than ample if you'd like, is this. Zack Snyder came out and spoke about the nightmare sequence, and this is what he had to say. He says, it was important to me that Batman and Joker have a scene together. Let's be honest, Batman and Joker are kind of that conflict is central to the universe. Frankly, it was a conflict that I had planned for the nightmare sequence, and so I was excited to get the opportunity to do it, to have a little taste of that. I thought it was important for fans to see that Batman in this cinematic universe's Joker coming to some small conflict. That is why they done 3 days of pickup shots to bring this guy into the story. He wanted it in there, and what Zack wants he gets, and it gives Jared the chance to redeem his performance, to redeem that character. Hopefully we get more of that character on the basis of that sort of hopefully very long nightmare sequence. I'm happy, man. I'm happy Deborah, I'm happy Zack went and done it. I'm happy we're getting Jared in there. I did say he was a pish stained Joker because he looked as though he was kind of pish stained in Joaquin. I'm happy it's there though. I'm happy they've done the pickup shot, and on that note I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to move on to the final topic, but it's not the final topic, man. That's not the final topic either. There it's there. There is the final topic. It's all about Joaquin Phoenix. I'm talking about one Joker right into another Joker. We live in a society. Joaquin Phoenix is teaming up with Midsommar's director, that's Ari Aster, for everyone else who knows their shit when it comes to movies, for a new mysterious film. And that is very intriguing indeed, because one thing about Ari Aster, like him or love him, and this guy is a Marmite director, one thing about this guy is he does zany, fucked up, dark stories. We've seen it with Hereditary, we've seen it with Midsommar. Joaquin Phoenix is just ripe for dark, fucked up mysterious projects. So this is a match made in heaven, man. I've watched this guy. I'm going to try and find this movie. I think it comes at night. I don't think that was it. But it was one where he went to save a little girl from a paedophile ring. And it was crazy. This guy was complicated, and Phoenix was unbelievable. Just incredible. So this guy's amazing when he works with people like this, when he works in stories like this. And look, I'm speaking about stories. I don't even know what the story is, man. But look, this is what they've had to say about it. Cinema Blend says this. While his directorial debut only premiered a little over 3 years ago, Ari Aster has already developed a considerable following, and it's one that's well deserved. It is. The filmmaker first inspired moviegoers' nightmares in 2018 with the stunning horror film Hereditary. I went to see it in the theatre. Opening weekend, it was something else. Toni Collette was magical. And of course there was other performances in there as well. That little girl with the what she used to do. She whistled, didn't she? That haunted my dreams. And then 1 year later, he entirely invaded the sophomore slump with the spectacular Midsommar. Florence Pugh, what more do you want in life? Now he's preparing to make his third feature, and while there's not a whole lot that we know about it, one thing we are very excited to now learn is that he has found a collaborator in Joaquin Phoenix. Deadline is now reporting that the Joker star has now finalised a deal that will see him headline Disappointment Boulevard. The film that Ari Aster is planning as his Midsommar follow-up, A24, which produced both of Aster's previous movies, is set to back this new project as well, but they didn't officially comment on the casting report. It's A24, it's Ari Aster, it's Joaquin Phoenix, it's going to be tremendous. And I know it's going to be tremendous, and I'm now already signed up to go and watch this in the theatre when it comes out, man. I don't even need to watch a trailer. I know this will be gold, because those three components are just ripe for gold standard filmmaking. So very excited, man. I cannot wait to see Joaquin. He's starring in another movie, incidentally. I think he's starring, they were speaking about it down there, he's starring with Napoleon Bonaparte. He's starring with Ridley Scott in a really strange movie called Kitbag. We spoke about that. That sounds interesting as well. Joaquin playing Napoleon. What more do you want in life, man? But look, here's what more you want in life. Me off your screen. I'm going to stop speaking and I'm going to pass it to you. What is your thoughts on Paddington 3 being greenlit? The movie is going to be coming. Who should be directing it? Who do you think could come in and take over from Paul King? Do you want to see a change in scenery away from London to Peru or somewhere else? What's your thoughts on that movie? What's your thoughts on that Mortal Kombat? Very grisly, gory extravaganza that was that trailer. What do you make about Jesse Plemons getting catapulted into the big game with Martin Scorsese and DiCaprio and whatnot? What's your thoughts on everything in between? You can comment down below if you've got anything to say at all. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Hit the follow button on Twitch. If you want to see more content like this, and you'll get it. That's how you get it, by hitting the follow button. But look, until then, I'm going to bid you farewell. Bye-bye.